Praise the Lord, everybody. This is Apostle Michael Peterson from Peterson Ministries. I want to share with you some empowerment from some men who have been there, done that, tried it, and have come out victorious. If you listen, I believe you will help. It will help you to grow, to thrive, and to flourish in your faith, family, and your finances for such a time as this. It's going to reach you right where you live.
Too old to even start a new skill. What do you do when there's not enough to take care of your daily obligations? What do you do when you lose a business? What do you do when nothing seems to work out and you're losing your sanity? What do you do when you have so much stress in your marriage because of financial problems that it's causing you to have difficult times sleeping with your spouse?
Adversity introduces a man to himself.
Most of the time, we're not afraid of until something bad happens to us. When things fall apart, it makes us think outside the box.
This is not for everyone. This is not for the faint at heart. This is for people who have goals and dreams that they want to achieve.
I'm wondering this morning if there's anybody here that life has handed you something that you didn't expect. The one thing I can tell you for sure is that nothing is for sure. Life will often disrupt what you expected. See, you don't know what people go through behind the scenes trying to cope with life. That just as soon as you have it down in a nice, neat little box of how you think it's going to go, it will never be what you expected it to be. So you got to get used to being a little disappointed. You got to get used to being a little bit shocked. You got to get used to walking into situations and being flexible and adjustable. Because if you are not flexible, you cannot survive. But I came to tell you this morning that our God is a God of the unexpected. So just because life has shocked you doesn't mean it's shocked God. Nothing takes God by surprise. He already knows what's going on in every corner of your life.
When we have a teeth-rattling experience and the very foundation of our life has been shaken, we run to God, only to discover that it's God that's doing the shaking.
In order to develop and to change and to grow, stress is necessary. So you got to be willing to go get it every day. There's a story my father told me. Now, I've heard it several different ways, but I'm just telling you the way my daddy gave it to me. He said, son, he said, every morning on the plains of the eastern Serengeti Desert, there arises a gazelle that realizes that he must run faster than the fastest lion, or he will be eaten and he will die that day. On that same desert arises in the morning a lion that realizes that he must run faster than the fastest gazelle, or he will starve and he will die that day. He say, son, the moral of the story is, no matter who you is, when you wake up in the morning, you needs to be running. And he said, no matter who you is, this proper grammar is who you are, but my daddy didn't do that, and I was comfortable with it. And so what he taught me was a work ethic of how to work. In order to get to where you want to go, you got to put yourself under some stress, though. See, stress is necessary.
Sometimes the only way for you to move on is for something to happen to push you. And many times we don't grow until we have to. It's amazing when we look at the world today, every progressive invention came out of a problem. You are not really a leader in good times. Anybody can lead in good times. You've been telling me how much faith you got. Well, let's see what kind of faith you have when there has to be situations where things don't look too good and you're not sure how you're going to make it in the morning. Sometimes you stray away and God got to pull the rug from under you to get you back on the floor to the original idea that God told you from the beginning, and it's called your original vision. There's a statement made by Shakespeare. He says, sweet are the uses of adversity. That's a deep statement. In other words, he's telling us when things are adverse, don't panic, use them. Use them for the positive result. Everything that happens to you could be used to produce something good. That's amazing. Everything. So Shakespeare caught on to something. He realized in his own thinking that adversity can be used to benefit the one under the adversity.
Until you have had the taste of finishing, you will not respect yourself until you follow through, until something is done, come hell or high water. Tears and struggles and pain, and you go through it anyway, and you show up and you continue to fight on no matter the circumstances. You finished. See, some people quit because things are out of control. Nobody quits what you can control. But the moment you get in something where you don't get your way, or you get reprimanded, or you get corrected, or you go through this, or you go through that, or you go through the other, the first thing the immature mind says is, this is ridiculous, I quit.
John Huntsman is the founder of one of the largest companies in the United States, and they produce about 90% of all the plastics, forks, and spoons that you use in your house or at your parties. His company fell into debt. The bank said they didn't loan no more money, and his company went into bankruptcy. He went home and told his wife, I quit. I'm never going to start this company again. I'm going to go find me a job. It's over. He said his wife made him go back and ask another bank, and he showed the bank the truth. He said, here's what I did in the last 15 years. Here's what happened, and I could start again. I know how to build a business. Will you trust me? And the bank says, I'll take a chance on you. He had no credibility, no assets, just a record that he built a company. The bank took a chance on him. Today, the company is worth over $14 billion. Billionaire. Here's what he said, I quote, if there is a silver lining to bad times, it is this. When facing severe challenges, your mind is normally at its sharpest. End quote. Now look at the statements in that statement. He said, when you are under the biggest pressure, that is when your mind is normally at its sharpest. Because your mind is having to think of things it never thought of before. Another quote I got from him is this one. He said, humans seldom have created anything of lasting value unless they were tried or hurting. He was talking from experience. He said, we don't produce anything that's worth talking about unless we are under pressure. In other words, you were never trusted for the things you claim. You are always trusted for the things you survived. It is the test that creates credibility. Write it down. It is the test that creates trust. The troubles right now, what you're going through, is going to give you the respect of other people observing you. There are people who are praying that you fail, and then they'll trust you when you don't. Weird people in the world. They hope you won't make it, and when you make it, they congratulate you. So therefore, don't listen to the naysayers. Accept the test as part of you becoming a successful person.
God is a trainer. This is what I done learned about. And all I can tell you is, how I got to be who I am. That's all I can share with you. I got no other stories for you. He wants me to share my story with those that's still trying to get there. And at 40, you can still buy the pony. But you got to be willing to get under some stress.
Most people are spectators in life. Don't get knocked down while you're sitting down. You want to get out in the field where the action is. And you will be amazed. After the struggle, there will be a calm period and things will begin to click for you. Come out here with what you got. You don't have enough money? Don't worry about it. You got the dream.
Life demands that you pick up the pace. Life demands that you pick up the pace. If you don't pick up the pace, you're going to be left behind. I'm amazed at the people that lack the flexibility to pick up the pace. They just get in a rut. I stroll down here and I'm going to stroll back. I'm going to stroll over here. I'm going to stroll over there. I can't deal with people who cannot pick up the pace. Don't be strolling when I got a 911 on you. I need people who can pick up the pace.
Successful people are always survival testimonies. They weren't born successful. Success is a result of going through a furnace, being ripped apart, being criticized and attacked. But write this down, please. This is very important. The fear of losing the job is the greatest concern today. I want to talk about this because that's what the Lord told me to talk about, to check your concept of job. Because that is where the problem lies. And that has become our curse. Because a job is really an opportunity someone else offers you. And if somebody offers you an opportunity, they can always take it back. And if you build your life on someone else's offer, you are as safe as how they feel at the time. And they can change the way they feel anytime and withdraw the offer. Anybody know what I'm talking about? That's why you can't build your life on a job. Stay with me. I'm going to help you with this here.
The reason that we don't even explore the possibility of what to do is because subconsciously we don't believe that it can happen for us, and we don't believe that we deserve it. So I'm saying that we have to work through the challenges of life and learning how to begin to work to fortify ourselves.
So no matter what you're facing, don't panic too long. Every test is temporary. You may panic for a minute, but I've come to tell you the panicking time is over now, because you got to get some wisdom. Nothing is permanent except God and his promises. Everything else is changing. As a matter of fact, God promises us that nothing will remain the same. He promised that. Now, God doesn't change. His promise doesn't change. And here's one of his promises. He said in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, he says, to everything there is only a season. And to every purpose there is a time under heaven. In other words, everything that you experience is only seasonal. If you broke now, it's only a seasonal brokenness. Nothing, Jesus says, is forever. So if your company had to die, you're going to be resurrected. I've come to tell you, bury it, have a good funeral, and then get ready for a resurrection. Tell them, I'll be back. Why? Because everything is only for a season.
Be not be surprised that family members and friends and people who should be there to encourage you and to motivate you, that they will try and discourage you. They're called a pyramid scheme, and they don't believe, they can't see this new you. Don't allow those negative naysayers, the people who are suffering from possibility blindness, to stop you. Had I listened to them, I would not be standing here. Had I listened to them, I would not be traveling around the world, living my dreams and not my fears. There's something in you that says yes to your life, yes to a greater future. Yes, yes, yes. I am the captain of my ship.
You want more.
The dirt is necessary so you can prove yourself. Everything you see above ground that blossoms and grows and that's beautiful, it was underground one time. All them potatoes, collard greens, they was underground one time. Them apple trees, they was underground one time. So they had to prove themselves. See, you want to be successful, well, then you got to prove yourself. You got to push through the dirt. You got to come up through here. You got to come out. Then you sprout. Then you become a tree. Next thing you know, you got fruit. So when you're under stress, take the stress for what it is. Don't get fooled. Don't just think, oh, man, Lord must not mean for it to be. What you talking about? How you think you're going to be a plant, a tree, a flower, and ain't no stress? How you going to get to be that without no dirt?
When things fall apart, you got to find another way.
Hey, look, this is Apostle Mike from Michael Peterson Ministries. Listen, when things don't work out, you've got to find another way. If you have exhausted the resources, if you have exhausted that circumstance and situation, then it's time also to start looking at new ways, new venues, new ideals, thinking outside the box to accomplish your goals. Maybe you're one of those people who just want to say, well, I don't think I can do it. I don't think it's for me. Success is for you. The reason you haven't done it is because you have never reached out and found yourself. You discover who you are by moving forward. I agree with what these guys have had to say. I wanted to share it with you because I know it will help empower you. And let's start being empowered together to live the winning way, to live our best life now, and to win the world for Christ. God bless you.